All right, so um, I just wanted to share a little info about this game. Just some stuff that I've learned from playing it, and like certain things in the game that is listed that is kind of misleading a little bit. But just to give a clear iteration of how things work. So the first thing I wanted to share is you could change the buttons back to classic controls. For some reason, if you change it to this right here, accelerate R1. I don't know why it says R1 there, but it actually makes all the buttons like the original Sonic and Sega Racing buttons. It's actually R2 to drive and L2 to brake. X is your attack, squares to look back. The basics. There's also it enables the triangle button if you have a certain item on as well. It allows you to switch items. But just wanted to share that because I was struggling looking for it. I was like, this was in the first beta, the first closed beta, but it wasn't in this one. But it's actually here. It's just listed incorrectly. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. But the main thing I wanted to get to is just the stats, like how the stats work and how like certain stats in this game is very misleading. So I don't know if you can see on your screen, but you see those little white arrows in like the divisions in each of the stats. Basically, that's how the stats actually work. So it's not actually like it's 0 to 100, but it's actually really like level 1 through 6, if that makes sense. Okay. So what happens is speed works a specific way. Speed is the only one where in reality the 0 to 100 actually makes sense, because what it does is for every I think let me see how it works. I think it's for every one speed stat that you have, or well, not really. It's still weird to explain. It's supposed to be for the rings and for your speed. So 100 speed Sonic, for example, like his max speed would be about like 200 without any rings, right? But then the rings, you could collect 100 rings. For every 5 rings that you have, your max speed is increased by 1. So when you get 100 rings, your max speed is increased to 20. It's plus 20 of whatever you have, right? And then of course there's a thing you can increase it to 200 if you had 200 rings. There's other things that increase it even further. I've tried with like the highest of everything, and like you are able to increase your speeds to ridiculous amounts, but you won't. There's nothing in the game that will like keep you there. Like it doesn't maintain your max speed. It's only for like the second that you boost, and then it comes right back down. Acceleration, I have a Tails build. It's not this one, but I've tried with max acceleration. It does make a difference. It actually, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna come back to this because it has to do with power as well. Handling, I didn't really try it, but basically handling characters like Amy, for example, the handling gear is supposed to be let me go here so I can show you kind of better. So the handling gear is like a control type of gear where you basically you get advantages for hitting your opponent and other things too. There's a lot of these that are hidden right now that was in the previous beta that's not in this one, and obviously there's more when the final game comes out. But basically handling increases things like these, like ring stealing. Where is it? Like ring thief, where you get the steel rings for hitting people, and anything like that. Like it increases those. Like there's another one where if you bump into somebody, you get a boost. Anything like that, and you have this handling. You have a handling character with the handling gear on, it increases that. Normally without it, without the handling gear, it just makes it so that you get like how you call it, you like the characters that you bump into, they get more stun, whereas you don't really take stun, if that makes sense. Like you bump into them, they'll probably get flung into a wall where you don't really take that much damage or whatever. Power, I think, is the most trash thing in this game because I feel like it should do more, but it doesn't. So power makes it so that when you get hit, it takes less rings away from you so that you can maintain your high speed. However, what I thought it was supposed to do is I thought it was supposed to make it so that when you get hit, the amount of time that you're stunned is lessened. But it doesn't really do that. And I've compared it. I've picked Omega with like max power that I can get with like a character like whoever had I think it was Jet. I think I tried it with somebody like that. Jet, for example, or Amy, for example. Like you could pick a build that makes your power go to like the bottom level, and you get hit with like both characters compared to Omega, and it still feels like you're stunned in the same thing. And then coming back to that, like I was mentioning, acceleration. If you're playing this build with Tails, I'm not gonna pick it, but if you're picking this build with Tails, there's a build I have that makes acceleration 100. You rather play this than play any power, because when you get hit, since your acceleration is 100, you immediately go back into the race. Like I think having acceleration like that is even better than like quick recovery. Quick recovery, by the way, does not stack with other things. This one, quick recovery makes it so you recover from attacks quicker, right? It actually cuts the time in half, right? But it doesn't stack on top of what character you pick. So it's always going to be the same recovery time, whether you pick Omega or whether you pick Jet. And each character has this quick recovery. They're both going to recover the same amount of time. It's not going to matter. It's not going to make a difference. The only difference that matters at that point is just the acceleration and how fast you can get back on track. Where a power character, like I was mentioning, like Omega, has low acceleration, so it doesn't make sense to even do that. You know, it's not gonna help him get back on track. Versus like if you pick Tails, you got hit, and then your acceleration is dumb high, and then you could continue. You know, it's just better. It would just be better playing Tails than playing any power character. That's just how I feel. Like it's just what it is. I can't explain it. It's just, that's why I say the stats are listed incorrectly. And then you have boost. I think Knuckles and Eggman are the highest, right? So something is weird with Eggman. For some reason, I think Eggman is actually the best when it comes to boost. But boost works correctly, because boost, how it works two ways, three ways actually. It gives you three perks. Okay, the 3 perks of boost is that it makes your boost gauge fill up faster. So when you're doing drifts, it makes it get to the max level a lot faster. So if you combine this with like quick charge and things like that, anything that increases like boost stats, then it works with that, right? Then it also makes it so that the like your boost level, like the actual level of the boost, when you release it, it increases your speed way higher than it would for like a speed character. Even Sonic with max speed wouldn't be able to be faster than like a boost character coming off of a boost. Just to kind of explain that. So every time you boost with a boost character, the amount of speed that you get from the boost is also increased. And then it also, the last stat that it actually does that you probably don't notice too well, but it actually does it increases your handling when you drift. When you drift, you can turn in ways that you couldn't turn before. However, it's kind of fake, because like I found out, like for example, I could play again Sonic, the fastest character, and drift, and then you can still control your drift the same way if you just have a handling of what you're doing in the game. If you know what you're doing in the game, you know how to drive, like just in general in any racing game, you know that your handling is depicted mainly on you. But it does increase that though. And then if you equip like them with the extreme gears, which is obviously the best for that, it increases it so exponentially, it's insane. Like it in this demo, you can't max it out, but it's so up there that even without maxed out, it's like one of the best things in the game, playing extreme gear. The other thing is that each stat has like a secondary perk when equipped a certain item. All of them are not in the game as well. Like the one for power and the one for boost is not in the game yet. But for speed, for example, it makes it so that, how I was saying before, every 5 rings increases your max speed. So if you have the speed perk on, every 5 rings increases your max speed by 2. So now instead of you, like when you get 100 rings, for example, and you're playing Sonic, normally his speed is increased by 20, but instead it's increased by 40. Acceleration, again, this is why I think power is useless. Acceleration's perk is that it, besides giving you max acceleration, it makes it so that hazards that hit you, so not every hazard, it counts for only like if you get hit by the wall, if you get hit by the stage, anything like that, it doesn't it's like having quick recovery. Like, so you basically have less hits done hitting it. So again, it makes the power characters obsolete. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why it's made that way. I think what they wanted to do was make power have a specific defensive value, but somehow that got construed. So I just don't think it's worth playing any power character. It's worth playing a character like this. Like, for example, I have this Tails here with this car where his speed is good, his acceleration is pretty bad, but the power is like halfway, it's like decent, right? So it would make sense to play a Tails like that, because it kind of increases that on both ends. But if you pick like Omega again, like Omega actually has some speed, which is kind of crazy. But for like Omega, for example, the acceleration perk doesn't work on him. So if you get hit by something, it's like it's still less value. It's like it's worse than if you was to get hit with Tails. Then you got the last thing, like I was mentioning, the handling. If you increase the handling secondary perk, or if you equip it, I mean, anything like I was mentioning before, anything that has to do with attacking your opponents, and it increases that overall. I don't think though it doesn't increase the amount of rings that you get for like hitting them. It doesn't increase that, but I think there's no way for me to prove it until like I'm playing with somebody. But if you hit somebody, I think it would take more rings if you equip that on them. And then again, power, don't know because the game is not out yet. And then boost, I don't know, the game isn't out yet. But if I had to guess for boost, boost will probably make it so that it would give you more based on doing air tricks, because it's going for that kind of Sonic Riders feel, where like everything, if you play like Jet, for example, with his extreme gear, it's going for that like boost is increased, the tricks is better, like you get more perks for doing tricks, stuff like that. That's what I think it would do, but there's no way to really know yet.
Yeah, let's race.
But other than that, I think that was it. That's all I had. Some of these don't stack, by the way, unless I could be proven wrong, but the Joker event had these two on equipped, but they don't stack, and I've tried it myself, so it didn't seem to me like they stack. If it did, it's very minimal. So Expert is the one that you want to equip. These two don't stack, just the higher one does. These are all pretty trash. This one is pretty good. I tried this one. It's actually there's a build with it that makes it really pretty good, but it's okay. It's not worth it really. Self-explanatory. Oh, this one is actually pretty crazy, though I don't think it's worth doing unless there's a level 3 version to it. It makes it so that every time you get rings, your speed increases to like the it's like basically you get a boost. Like the speed that you would get from doing a boost is the speed that you would get when you collect rings. But it only works in like that 0.1 of a second that you're actually collecting the rings. So it's like it make you go faster for like a jolt of a second, and then you go back to normal. Even if you're constantly getting rings, it doesn't make sense because most of the rings that you get in the game are during like a drift. So you would rather just drift better than collect the rings and just get that small speed boost. I don't think this is good enough. I think the range should be even better than what it gives you to be useful. Slipstreams, I think, should get removed from the game. I hate it in general. Like, it makes it so that people behind you get a boost to go faster than you, but it's also glitched or bugged because your actual speeder meter, the thing that shows you how fast you're going, it actually doesn't increase when you do it. So you can't tell like how faster you actually are, but you are moving faster. Like, the game shows that you're moving faster. But what's weird about it is, like, if I'm Sonic, right, and I'm max speed, you shouldn't be going faster than me. So it's kind of cheat code-ish a little bit. Like, I think this should be like a level 3. Like, it should take 3 to use this, 2 or at least 2. But it's good. But I just think it's like it gives you some unfair advantages certain times when you're not supposed to have it. Collision boost, they nerfed this to the moon. this was what made the first beta broken, but they nerfed it, and they nerfed it correctly. It just basically now it's just made so that if you hit somebody, you don't slow down. It gives you a boost, but it's like it's so minimal that it's non-existent. Spin drift, some people use this. It's okay. That's all I can say about it. It's okay. Every single one of these, if you're not playing extreme gear, don't use it. Don't bother using it. That's how I feel about them. If you're playing extreme gear, use it. This does not help. I've tried it. Also, another thing I meant to mention: speed is capped in this game, outside of boost. So if you're playing Sonic, I have to keep using Sonic for this example just because Sonic is the fastest character. He has a not the fastest character, but he has the highest speed stat, so he can potentially be the fastest character, right? If you use this and your speed is already 200, it's not gonna make it go faster. It's just not. Like, it only increases the base speed of the base stats of everything. So it's not gonna make your acceleration more than it is. If your tails, it's not gonna make your speed higher. Handling is still handling. Power is irrelevant. Boost is irrelevant. Like, even with this, it doesn't. There's no like the plus 20 is just not a real increase to where you will notice it. These have other levels. So, like, when the final game comes out, you'll see the rest of them. So I'm gonna just leave this alone for now. But long story short, if you want to play like a build that focuses on 2 things, like 2 specific stats, like let's say speed and boost, and you want nothing but speed and boost, when the game comes out, there's different versions of this where you can basically max out the stat by decreasing the other stats. Item keeper, I don't think it's relevant. Quick recovery, some people use it. I don't think it's relevant because I still think like even with quick recovery, if you get hit by an item, like people are gonna pass you. Like it's not like you get hit and you just keep going. Like you're gonna get hit and they're gonna pass you, even at the last part of the finish line or whatever. There's nothing you could do to stop that. Irrelevant. I haven't tried this. Actually, I have. I did try this in the first beta. It was in. It is what it is. Self-explanatory. I don't like this one. I'll get to that in a second. I'll come back to that. These are all self-explanatory. This one is really good. If this one is good, if you're the type of player like myself who you want to try and beat your time attack challenge to get the fastest time on a map. If you're confident in that and also confident that you rarely get hit by items, this is for you. If not, don't equip it. This is not good. However, there's a build that makes this really, really good. It's part of my Tails build that I was explaining. Since the acceleration is the max, this right here makes it so that you're in first place and you just maintain your first place status throughout the entire race until you get hit. Like that's all it's there for. Like you start the race, you make sure you're in first place, and then everything you get in front of you is just items that defend you from getting hit from things. So it's basically like a first place defensive kind of equipment. That's what it's good for. The warp ring, I won't say anything about this right now. I'm gonna just say you'll know soon. We'll come back to that. Self-explanatory. You're a scrub. That's all I'm gonna tell you. You're a scrub if you pick this. So this right here, this is better than what's the other thing? This. Okay? You rather pick this instead of this. Every time. Even though it takes 3. You still rather pick this one. It's just overall better in every way. It makes you get 3 items, but also what actually does. If you how can I say it? What's the thing in the game where you get the items, the little items capsule, right? If you run into one that has like 2 of them together and then another one, you get all 3. Whereas this, it does not work. It only allows you to collect all 3. Whereas this, you can get all 3 at the same time. And these we already went over. Acceleration gives you more rings. It gives you more max speed when you have them. Reduce the impact for taking damage. And acceleration is max. And then the handling, stealing rings. It also makes it so that like things like hitting enemies with items is improved as well. Like hitting them with items and it takes rings, anything like that, it increases that as well. But that's mainly it. I'm not gonna tell you which builds is the best builds or anything like that because there really is no best build. And when the game comes out, like the meta that was here for the beta is completely irrelevant to the final game, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, like for me, for example, hold on, this right here. Like this is the Tails thing I was telling you. Like you pick Tails, you pick this, the acceleration is max, you go into first place immediately. This is just so like you increase your Tails max speed is slow, so increase your max speed, it makes it better. Let me just pick it so that you can see the stats. So if you do this, like his speed is 60 but his acceleration is max, the boost doesn't matter because you're in first place anyway, right? You just wanted to, all you're doing is defending your position from being in first place. I don't know why his handling is so low, because that handling, I'm telling you, handling is a lie. You're as good as handling as you are just playing the game. Like whatever vehicle suits you is how good your handling actually is. Only thing handling changes is how it interacts with hitting another player, not how you turn, not how your controls are, nothing like that. But yeah, you pick Tails, and you get, like, his speed normally is slower than Sonic. Is like if Sonic's is 200, Tails' speed is probably like 185, right? But then the 130 ring makes up for that. So 130 rings will increase it by like approximately like 6, and then you're still up because, like, again, you're just in first place, so you're just defending where you are. You're getting all of the defensive items and all of the, like, the boost stuff you get first, so you're good. That's all you need to do. It's just a protective build. But yeah, that's pretty much it. How I feel about the game is great. I just think certain stages are like kind of busted. Let me see if it shows you actually. Let's see.
All right, let's take off.
See if it shows you the stage. Okay, it does. But so like the stages, the E Stadium, it's fine. Rainbow Garden, fine. Water Palace, fine. Metal Harbor, I would say it's fine. Sand Road is fine. Sand Road actually, the last part of the race is actually perfect. It's perfect. It really is. Colorful Mall is awful. I think it's the worst stage in the game. Like, not the stage aesthetic, like the racing aesthetic with it. The end of the race makes this stage so RNG. It's kind of dumb. Like, you get the capsule, you get the last item capsule so close to the finish line, and then everybody gets it right after you pull out of the shortcut turn, that everybody's just gonna mash the item button, and it's just gonna come down to pretty much randomness. If you don't have a defensive item, you just lose. That's why I hate that stage. I think it's the most stupidest thing in the world. Mystic Jungle, it's pretty okay. I like how the stage layout is. It's hazards, and you can fall off the map. Like, it brings skill into the game. Apados is a weird stage because Apados, the first lap is fine. It starts off very chaotic, and then whoever pulls out of the chaos is the person that's in first place. And then after that, it's smooth sailing. And then the last lap is just god awful. Like, not the last lap, like just that last part where you come out of the plane, then you land, and then you have to hit the drift panels. Everybody has the items by the time they get to the drift panels, so it's just another situation similar to the Colorful Mall where you kind of mash the attack button. But the problem with this stage is that any of the items that gives you like the truck or the drill are so insanely powerful on that part that you could just literally go from like last place to first place. It's so insane like that. Like, I don't think the game accounted for that, because I think they just need to push like the item capsule back a little bit for Apados, and then it would be fine. Wonder Museum, that's my favorite stage. I think it's great. The last turn is very important. It's a very skillful turn. And then also coming out of it, you gotta know how to defend from the items and things like that. The rest is not gonna show. They all blank stages, whatever. I won't go over the CrossWorlds stages because I don't know if the game has like the CrossWorlds stages as like full stages. I think it does. Like Dragon Road, for example, I think is a full stage. But we haven't gotten that yet, so you'll see that in the full game. But yeah, that's pretty much Sonic CrossWorlds, man. I got nothing more to say about it. I just wanted to share that about the stats. The Joker event, I hope they do that every time like a new character is released. They do like a special event for it. I think that's cool. And yeah, so I'm gonna go back to Sonic and I'm gonna play this game. And that's gonna be it. I think the beta is open until Tuesday, so enjoy.